All right, now let's move to the elections, but this is the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan polls. There is a Senate bill that is seeking to already postpone this. I believe this was filed by Senator Francis Ortiz Escudero. Do you support the suspension, Senator JV, of the polls?
Karen, that was referred to the Committee on Electoral Reforms. No, although I chair the Committee on Local Government, under which the barangays fall under, we will have to weigh the options. Initially, during the organizational meeting, the COMELEC said, Chairman George Garcia said, in case the elections are held December, COMELEC is ready. No, in case the Congress decides to postpone through May or December next year, they're also ready. No? But it will not save money. That's according to COMELEC, because during that time, that period, they will have to open again registration. New voters will come in, so that will entail probably from 8 billion. It might go to about 9 billion or even 10 billion by next year.
So it will be more expensive, because the argument of lawmakers who want it suspended is that the government will be able to save 8.44 billion that can be used for other pressing concerns.
Well, that's according to COMELEC, Karen, that it will entail more cost.
Kumbaga mas mahal pa pag na-postpone.
Yes. That is correct, according to Chairman George Garcia. But probably yung rationale naman of the executive or the other government officials, you can save the 8 billion for this year and use it into more important and pressing matters, and just probably if we budget it next year, kasi kakatapos na din ng national elections. So, ako, Karen, personally, if we are to postpone, probably hold it May. No? It's already too long, because the last election for Barangay and SK was 2018. It's quite long already. So, that's 4 years already. Next year will be the 5th year. By that time, Karen, yung mga SK, baka may mga anak na, may mga asawa na. There won't be any more there. But ako, I'm open. We will have to weigh things. Probably we'll have a hearing on this. Whichever is more advisable, if we postpone or we push through, because I think it's already too long. 4 years, 2018, we just have to have an election. But if the executive thinks that probably kung 6 months man, ako, if ever I'm open, probably 6 months only.
Okay.
I think 1 year is too long.
And my last question on this is also, culturally speaking, Senator JV, you've been a mayor for so long. What is the effect on the ground if a barangay captain is overstaying? If the Sangguniang Kabataan heads are overstaying? If they hit 5 years, are you seeing also moral issues coming into play? For example, abuse of power, corruption, alam mo yung mga ganon.
Well, Karen, every time there's a new mandate, new officials, it's always it's a fresh start, so to speak. And Karen, there's a saying that goes 3 years or 4 years is too long for an ineffective and a corrupt official, and too short for a good public official. So it really depends. But the mandate says 3 years, then we really have to adhere. But we just have to weigh the options in case we have to extend, not too long, Karen, because the last polls was 2018.
Okay, good point on that. My last question now is, I recently interviewed Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista, and given that railways is a priority of this administration and has been an advocacy of yours for so long, Jaime Bautista on 3 major railways is met with the Chinese ambassador. But then, ito yung naunsyami, right? The loan agreements or requests of the former administration, they were turned down, or they were not facilitated by the Chinese government, Chinese Exim Bank to be exact. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, should we only approach or look for sources with the Chinese government when it comes to these 3 railway systems?
Well, Karen, I am biased, no, because I had the chance, as we mentioned, I've been talking about this for the longest time, and during the time of President Duterte, I had the chance to. I was always with him in the working visits and state visits to Japan, and I was a witness myself when Prime Minister Shinzo Abe committed, no, to undertake the North-South commuter line, which is now under construction. It's already in Clark, no, the construction itself, no, and also the Manila subway system. So I was very, very happy. And then, so Japan will undertake the North-South commuter line and the Manila subway system.
And you're seeing it right now. Kumbaga, we are seeing it. It's now being constructed. Okay.
That is correct, Karen. But China was able to ban the south haul, the long haul, going to Bicol and the Mindanao railway system, no? Well, Karen, it's because the administration said before that, you know, the ODA of Japan, or the Overseas Development Assistance, was already used up for the two projects. So we have to turn to China. But Karen, I'm hoping that China this time would remain true to the word, because their commitment was $9 billion. No, what was only released was $600 million. So that's not even 10%. And Karen, if you would go back in history, the North Rail and the South Rail, which was supposedly be China funded before, they didn't also push through. So if I'm hoping that this time we would renegotiate, we have to renegotiate, but the government has to weigh things again. But I'll be biased. Ako, in terms of practicality, safety, and of interoperability, para isa na lang yung technical training natin, no? I think Japan has always been very friendlier terms. I mean, that the interest rate is not even 1%.
Yeah.
Right?
The interest rate of Japan is 0.01% compared to what China was offering of 3%.
That is correct, Karen. So I'm hoping if Japan has room for Overseas Development Assistance Fund, I'm hoping that they will also undertake the South long haul South and the Mindanao railway system. And Karen, if you remember also, every time we are in trouble, as what Senator Grace po, nung nagka-problema yung MRT, no? We always go back to Japan. Sumitomo again went back, and now MRT is functioning very well. So ako, I'm really biased for Japan, and ako, we owe a lot to Prime Minister Shinzo Abe for this.
These are very strong points. I'm curious, being a senator, or even would you have some oversight function in terms of what the DOTR or the executive will decide to go for?
Well, of course, during the budget season, Karen, it will all pass through us, no? All the big ticket items. Of course, I think in a way we have that oversight function. And I talked to Special Assistant Anton Lagdameo and also Secretary Jimmy Bautista, and I told them to please tell the President I really want to be involved here, because I really am passionate, and I've been fighting for this for the longest time, and I really want to be involved and really help in any way I can for budget, for legislation, anything that would be needed. So I'm hoping that I'll be involved in this, so that we can really make these things a reality.
Okay. I'm curious right now, the expansion of the Tutuban, I think it's Malabon Tutuban, PNR ito, that Jimmy Bautista, Secretary Bautista said will be done by 2026. Is this also Japan funded?
Currently, Karen, no, we were able to fund the PNR's existing line. No, would you believe, Karen? We allotted during my time as the Vice Chair Committee on Finance. We allotted 3.5 billion for the purchase of new train sets that can be used first before as we wait for the modern railways, no, to come into reality, because that would take time. So we were able to purchase 9 train sets for the first time in 40 years. Imagine, the last time the PNR was able to purchase new train sets was 40 years ago. So probably Secretary Bautista is talking about these lines that it will take from Valenzuela going to Makati. Now, if you use PNR, it will only take 37 minutes. Whereas if you use normal route by car probably, or by bus probably 2 hours. No? So I think they have revived now, PNR, yung Valenzuela, Malabon, going to Makati and all the way to
Oo.
Calamba. So we can use that existing line right now.
Japan funded ba ito, Senator?
Now the Philippine government, we were able to allot 3.5 billion. So we
Okay.
purchased the old, we purchased new train sets from Indonesia. So bago na yung mga PNR trains natin, Karen. No? So we have new train sets that can be used right now at the moment as we wait the North-South commuter line to be completed.
All right. Well, on that note, Senator J.B. Ejercito, thank you so much for joining me today. We spoke about a lot of issues. You have a good day, sir, and you take care.
Thank you, Karen. Nice to talk to you again. Thank you.